Welcome back everyone, how you doing? We're back on TSW3 and here's one I've not driven for quite a long time. We are back in France on the LGV. We're going to take the TGV from Avignon down to Marseille and it'll take us, it's about half an hour, so we'll get set up and we'll have a chat about it. This is Avignon. Let's unlock the doors. We'll get everything set up, ready to go. Put that in forwards. Let's just check the power. So we are LGV. We want to raise the pantograph. Then what we want to do is we want to turn on the circuit breaker, rearm it. You can hear the power coming up. And driving mode. We want into manual. We're already in forwards now. What I like to do as well is turn on the these panel lights and the desk light, because when we go to the power changeover, and if you've not seen this route before, you'll see what I mean. About 11 kilometers outside of Marseille, you will see that those lights come in handy when you're looking around the cab. Tail lights we can turn off. They're on at the other end. Vacma, yeah, that's all okay. Now we can turn up these dials. There we go. Right. Safety systems. Let's do it properly. So they're in this back panel. So we have got the TVM. Put that into normal. KVB. And finally, where's Vacma? There's Vacma. Normal. Right, let's close that. It's a beast of a train, this one. Right, we've got to wait till 9:32. We're all set up, ready to go. Let's have a quick look outside. This is Avignon. This is the TGV. Look at it. Oh, it's built for speed, isn't it? It's just built for speed. I love this train. So this route, it's about 96 kilometers, this journey that we're doing. So it's pretty fast, as you will see. Let's get the doors closed. Perfect. So we've got a green light. Now, these brakes work a little bit like the Class 66, so I'm releasing the brakes until they get up to 5. So now they're fully released. Let's go, let's put some power in. So we can go up to 170 kilometers per hour. Now what I like about this as well, can you see the up arrow there? It's just showing us that our speed is increasing. I like that, as opposed to the little ball in the hood, which is not always that easy to see, is it? Anyway, 67 kilometers to our first stop, which is Aix-en-Provence. Hope I'm saying that one right. Feel the power coming up now. Let's have a quick look outside and we'll have a bit of horn for you hornies out there. There you go. Beautiful train. Now, you've heard me say it a million times, I like this route because we get a good run. But not only that, it's a good long run, but the speed, I love the speed. So we're going to get up to sort of 320 kilometers per hour. So it's telling us right now we can go up to a maximum of 300. We're way off that, so we'll keep accelerating through the tunnel. And we'll have a look at the nice French countryside as we go. This route actually has been out for quite some time. And some people like me like it because of the speed and the distance. Other players are not as keen because in between Avignon and Marseille, you've only got this one stop. But if you think about the speed of this train, getting up to 300 and odd kilometers per hour, you wouldn't expect it to be a stopper anyway, would you, really? But look at it, I mean, the cab is great. It's really high tech. There's the emergency exit, so that window must pop out, I'm assuming. Yeah, both sides you must be able to pop the window. Anyway, let's have a look. We're accelerating nicely through to 300. So because of the add-ons manager, I'm going back now more and more to look at the routes we've had for quite some time that I've not necessarily played that much just recently, but they're still my favourites. This is one of them. This one, because the services, in the majority of cases, the services are around 30-33 minutes. This is one of those routes that if you are struggling for time but you want to play something quick, this is one of those ones where you can jump in. So it's always been quite handy for that. I find going in this direction a little better because of the entrance into Marseille is quite interesting. Going back the other way into Avignon, there's not much to see. It's kind of a, it's just a normal platform. The station is pretty good, and actually Aix-en-Provence station you'll see is pretty good. But what I mean is Marseille is the end of the line, so you're actually coming into the covered station, and it's quite nice. The other two are platform stations, if that makes sense. As if they're continuing on elsewhere, which they are, of course. So, we've been cleared up to 320 kilometers per hour. We're just accelerating through 312. So, it's pretty fast, isn't it? Let's take a look outside. And just take the power off. Well, it looks good, doesn't it? A bit of tilt there. Take a screenshot of that. Blazing our way through the countryside. It's great. And this speed, I mean, this is up to 320 kilometers per hour. Is this still the fastest in TSW? I think it probably is, isn't it? Because Castle Würzburg. What do we get up to on Castle Würzburg? 200 and something? 250, is it? Can't remember. I was playing earlier today. I was playing Colin Arkin, and that was taking me up to 250 kilometers per hour in the ICE. So I think this is just slightly faster. But this is, I mean, driving this in real life, this is seat of the pants stuff, isn't it? This. I mean, look at the scenery whizzing by. You're just driving this metal tube on two pieces of metal, which if there's a slight buckle anywhere, I dread to think what could possibly happen. Anyway, we're only in a simulator, so we're good. So we'll keep going. It's a lovely run though. This actually as well, this comes up a lot in a sale. So again, as I mentioned the other day, lots of people saying to me, what route shall I get when the sale's on? The sale's on now, actually. It is on PlayStation. It's the spring sale. I don't know if this one's in it though. You might have to check. But if you haven't got this one, consider this one. It's a decent length. It's high speed. The train is absolutely lovely. And if you've got Southeastern High Speed, there are some services for this train on the Southeastern High Speed as well, sort of mimicking the Eurostar. And Creators Club, there is a stream that I did of that on the Southeastern High Speed, and I will link to it up in the top right. And I actually got the skin for the Eurostar from Creators Club for this train, and we did run it in a live stream on Southeastern High Speed, and that was quite nice. So I'll link that so you can see it if you did miss it. So there are some possibilities as well, because this is I think it is still the only French route that we've got, and certainly it's the only native route for this TGV. But yeah, Southeastern High Speed, and anybody that's got TSW3, of course, Willown, Southeastern High Speed, so there's an opportunity to use it there as well. And Southeastern High Speed is a popular route with a lot of players, isn't it? So there's something there for you to do. 41 kilometres. Still cleared up to 320. Now you see at high speed, you see what I mean about the little arrow? Because a few kilometres per hour here and there actually can sneak up on you at this speed quite quickly. So at a glance, you can just look down and see if you're accelerating still. So you can keep an eye on your speed and then not go over the limit. Alright, so we're up to 320 just about now, so you can see the arrows going down now. We've got a slight, very slight gradient that we're going up, which is helping bring the speed down. So this particular safety system, the TVM, gives you that speed there on that dial, 320. As you're approaching a station, it will start to slow you down and give you slower speeds. Or if there's something in front of you, same thing. So this is the maximum speed at the moment that we've got, so nothing in front of us. Aix-en-Provence, we're still 34 kilometres away, so there's no problems. Just a lovely run. I think I've got the date set to today's date. The dynamic weather is on, but it was starting off as clear, so whether or not it will change by the time we get into Marseille, not sure. It is quite a quick run, isn't it, this 33 minutes. This is also actually a fun route, and I don't do it often. It's a fun route to be a passenger in the back. The train is really nice in the actual passenger section, and you know, you should check that out. There's a lot of the interiors, the passenger interiors, that I don't check out, but this one, just to get the feeling of speed without me actually driving it. I did go once or twice up and down both directions as a passenger. I think actually there was originally an achievement for that. I don't know if it's in TSW3, but under TSW2, when this was released, of course, there was an achievement for that. So I did do it a couple of times, and it was really nice. And you know, I'm like you guys probably. I want to be able to just drive, but if you're looking at the artistry of some of these routes, there's a lot gets missed if you don't take a walk through the cab. Sorry, not through the cab, through the passenger section, and look at all the detailed work that's done in the coaches. You know, quite often you only see the cab. So try that, especially on this route. This is a good one. Now, the TVM is flashing 320, which means we're going to go to a lower speed. So I'll put some brakes in, and we've got a solid 300 there now. So we'll let it take us down to the 300. We're overspeeding at the moment. It gives you, I can't remember how many seconds it is, it gives you so long to get down to that recommended speed. So we'll release the brakes now that we're under it. It is quite hilly in this section, look, 3.5% we were just in then. Then it's flattened out. So now we've got a green 300. If we have a yellow 300, I believe that means be ready for a further speed reduction. And if it flashes, that means the speed reduction is going to happen. So we've got a solid green. So it isn't expecting us to go up or down at the moment. So we can put a bit more power in. We can take it right up to that 300. We want to keep on time. I do imagine that this route in real life has lots of targets associated with it for timeliness. So we want to try and match it as best we can. 295 kilometers per hour, 18 kilometers out of Aix-en-Provence. So you'll see it will start to slow us down very soon. as we approach, get a little bit nearer. So I mentioned at the beginning the power change, which is a similar type of thing to what happens with the Javelin Southeastern High Speed. Again, there's a procedure for that, so once we get towards the power change, I'll show you. At the moment, for this long section, we'll just go down there, the pantograph mode is LGV. So basically what we need to do is change that as we approach Marseille. We want to change that to DC mode. Different voltage coming into the city. So we'll show that. Let's keep the speed up. That's how easy it is to drop speed, just when I was talking about that power change. But we're doing alright, 14 kilometres. Due in at 9:51, so we've got, what, just short of 6 minutes. Hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed, also drop me a quick subscription. That would be perfect. Thank you very much, and thanks to those that already have. So we're going downhill, 3.5%. We better put some brakes in. Just manage that speed. You don't want to run away in this train. So the 300 is flashing, which means it's about to drop us down. There it is. It's lovely. Double deck. Must be great sitting up there at the top. Let's take those brakes off now. Put some power in. So while I was outside, we were over braking quite a bit. We got a 270 there, but it's flashing, so again it's going to take us down. I think, is it 230 next? I'm trying to remember. When I've been driving this a few times, I remember the speed steps that it comes down. I think it'll be 230. Could even be more than that. Oh, it's put us back up to 300. Oh, 270. So there's a bit of something in front of us, and it's got us between 270 and 300 at the moment. So we'll just stay where we are. We are increasing slightly. 6.6 kilometres out of Aix-en-Provence. So there is the 230, and that's flashing, which means we're going to be reduced even further, which is what we would expect being this close to the station. So we're just coasting at the moment. The brakes are off, the throttle's off, it's idle. Three minutes to get in. So there's the 200, which is flashing again. So it's going to ask us to stay under 200, but then reduce again quite quickly. And it will reduce us to a 170. You can also see it in the top right of the screen there as well. So we can anticipate that when it's flashing, and we can already start to go down to the 170. We're quite near to the station, you see. There's the 170, flashing again. It may give us the 100, or it may even go straight to 0 and ask us to slow right down. Quite a hill we're going up as well, 2.9%, which is taking some of the speed off. Good for time, just under 2 minutes is when we're due. So 0 is the next speed restriction, so this is our approach now to the station, so we'll start bringing it down quite nicely. It is quite easy actually to shoot through this station, especially for some reason coming in the opposite direction is one that you can struggle with, because at the other direction you come out of a tunnel. You come straight out of a tunnel and the station is right there. So it is one you need to keep your eye on. So you can get a bit complacent when you're just travelling along at speed. Forget to stop, which isn't ideal, is it? But I'll show you the station in a minute. See all the glass? It looks great. This. We'll just trickle in. We're in good time. We're pretty much spot on time, to be honest. Let's have a look outside. See, it's very airport-X, isn't it? It's very, very airport-looking, futuristic. Got a red light coming up, so I need to be careful. So we'll just keep trickling it in. There's a train spotter there. He's coming up to the front to take a photograph. Spot on time. So let's put a bit of brake in now. There we go. Get the doors open. Just patting down the train a little bit so you can have a look. We can have a look inside actually from the outside. We've also got the French announcements on the station as well, which is quite a nice touch. So that's the top deck. Let's have a look down below. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I would rather be on the top deck though, I must admit. So then, Aix-en-Provence station. I don't know how far it will let me actually pan down the train. But you can see there, it's a lovely little station. Plenty of people going about the business, coming down the steps. Collectibles as well. I can see the first aid kits. We've also got the route maps. I think there's posters as well. There could be others. I can't remember now. It's that long since I've been collecting them. But as per usual, there is always a set. All right. So we've got a go via next, which is the power change location. So let's see if we can do the power change in one go. With no problems, because it can be a little bit tricky. But I'll show you the technique that I use to do it. Which is to go from left to right and then back up to the left again. So we got 11 kilometers till we get there. Feel the speed coming up now. It's one of those trains as well that feels solid to drive, and the cab being like this, it's very futuristic, very space shuttle. It's very, very much like the Javelin. It really is. A few different systems on there. But safety systems, the Javelin does have the safety systems, the TVM, KVB. So if you've played with the Javelin a lot, you'll be used to those. Alright, we can speed up to 270, but it is saying that it might reduce as it's flashing. So we'll go as far as 230, which is the step underneath 270. Because it could change to 230 anytime. There you go, 230. I think 200 is the step below this one. So here's the tunnel that I was telling you about. So you shoot out of this tunnel going the opposite direction at high speed, and Just watching us come out of the station now, you probably think, oh, there's quite a bit of distance between the tunnel and the station, but actually, at high speed, it's very difficult to get slowed down if you've not already started. So keep that in mind if you're going the other way. 200 is our maximum permitted speed. So let's keep that down. We are going downhill 2.5%. Quite a steep hill. It does go down quite a way, this tunnel, actually. I'm just wondering how far down we are actually going. If you could see a cross-section from the outside. I don't know how, what distance downwards we're actually doing. We seem to be going quite a way down. And the power change coming this way is just as you leave the tunnel. Coming the other way, it's as you go into the tunnel. So again, at the beginning I was telling you about switching these lights on at the bottom, which helps you see all these buttons that you need to press as part of the power change. You can suddenly be, if you haven't got the right lights on, you can be thrown into complete darkness, and then you're looking round on the desk with the cursor like this, looking for the actual prompts to pop up, which is not ideal. And of course, all the time you're losing speed in between the power change. So we've got 4.6, and then we'll change the power as mentioned from LGV, which is what we've got now. We need to change it to DC for the approach into Marseille. Slightly speeding, take that out a little bit. Still going downhill. You see what I mean? We've been going downhill now for quite some time. I don't know what depth we're actually going to. I wonder, I don't know the route in real life, but I wonder, are we passing under a city, perhaps? Is this actually Aix-en-Provence above us that we're going under? I don't know. But we are going to some depth right now. Just managing that speed. We do start to raise up again very shortly. This is it now, so we're about to come out of the tunnel, ready for the power change. So once we flatten out, just make sure we're not speeding. There we go. So just approaching Marseille now. So you will get a prompt now in the top left hand corner. You'll see when we go over this blue marker, it will tell you what you need to do. It doesn't give you the sequence, it just tells you what power mode you need to be in. So we need to go to DC. So here's the dark tunnel which I mentioned. First of all, turn the circuit breaker off. Then we lower the pantograph. Switch the power. You can hear it now coming down. You can hear the power coming off. Pantograph back. Circuit breaker on. Then we need to rearm, and you should find the power is back on again. So that is the switch over. So going the opposite way, you'll already be in DC when you leave Marseille, and at that point, just before the tunnel, and as you go into the tunnel in the opposite direction, it'll ask you to put it into LGV mode. So just that sequence, and if you do it, in the right order, it isn't that difficult to do. It's just memorizing it, but also you can do it without losing any speed. But don't worry if you're new to it, you don't get it right straight away. If you don't change the power mode, if you just leave it as it is and you were trying to come down here, you will come to a stop. You wouldn't be able to take power unless you change it over. So it's a bit too far away as well to coast into Marseille as well. So just learn that sequence, you'll be fine. Alright, so 3.1 kilometres out of the city. We've got 110 coming up. So we'll start to put that in. A bit of brake, that is, to get us down. There we go. So it'll slow us down all the way to a crawl as we come in. 60's next. So we've got a kilometre till the 60, so I'll start bringing that down right now. So we're nicely under the 60. So if you do have this back, there's this depot up here on the right hand side. There's some services where you bring the trains in and out of service, which are quite nice as we approach the 30. So I think there's the typical 5 scenarios that you get with the pack. Quite a number of services. I can't remember offhand how many services, but there's quite a few. So there's plenty to do. And it's something, it's something a little bit different again. So it's nice to see that in all these routes there's something a little bit different, and this one stands out on its own. I mean, it was really on its own until, something like Castle Würzburg came out, and all the ICE routes, to be honest. Especially Castle Würzburg. I think the ICE one is the closest to this one, I would say. So Castle Würzburg was a TSW3 launch route, wasn't it? And this was out, as I mentioned earlier, with the TSW2. So this is Marseille. Timing looks good. So these safety systems do help keep you on time, which is really great. One of the problems I find coming into this station is that I can sometimes come in a little bit hot, and there's nothing in front of me except the buffers. There's been a couple of times where I've come in and bumped off the buffers at sort of like 5 kilometers per hour. So I'm admiring the view too much normally when I'm coming in. So right where the stop marker is are the buffers. This is the end of the route. So I'll put a little bit of brake in now, then I'm not leaving it to the last second. We don't want to stop too hard because no doubt the passengers are already getting up, putting the coats on, grabbing the bags, etc, etc. So we don't want any complaints at all. So yeah, this is LGV. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a nice run. Thank you for taking this run with me. It's been a pleasure as always. And I'm being overcautious. You see how close the buffers are? They're right there. So I don't want to have any accidents now. See, it's easy done. Let's get the doors unlocked. I'll show you these screens actually while we're here. These are quite nice, aren't they? Just give you the service name, what time it's leaving, where it's going, where we've come from. You see, this is our service. Avignon, Aix-en-Provence, Marseille. And of course the announcements. Very nice. So if you haven't picked this up, go and give it a look. It's worth it, honestly. Give it a try. See what you think if you do pick it up. If you've not got it and you do pick it up, drop me a comment below. Be nice to hear from you if you have picked it up. And that's the end of the run. So thanks again. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you all again soon for more Twin Sim World 3. Bye for now.